Ledge, Chelsea won the championship.
Yes.
In great style and fashion. 3 at the back. I know it's a system that you like very much. Talk a little bit about Chelsea. How big is it for them winning I think it's their seventh Premier League title?
Fifth.
In 13 years? Fifth?
Fifth,
Sorry.
Fifth.
In
You're supposed to be footballing brains.
Well, I'm an Arsenal guy, anyway, so don't really care. But no, let's just talk a little bit about how big Chelsea's performances has been this season. With Conte coming in, new manager, new to the system, doesn't know the Premier League that well, or you would have thought so, but he's come in, same team Jose had got them playing. Oh, what's happened there?
Aaron's chair's just fallen off.
Azza, what's going on? You have some weight.
This show's going apart. This show's going apart. No wonder why Ricky's not here.
Yeah, that's it. As I was saying before, we was rudely interrupted by Aaron and his chair antics. How well do you think Conte's done this season?
Well, I think considering the start he had, because obviously he left it a little bit alone. He played the 4, which Chelsea have always played at the back with John Terry, and they had an awful start, first 6 games I think it was, and then I think they got beat by Arsenal, heavily beat by Arsenal, and then he changed it. He thought, I'm just going to go and do the system that I want to do, that I've done in Italy, and he's played 3 at the back, and since then I think they won 13 in a row or something stupid, and climbed up the table. So I think he's done it the way that he wants it. I think he's a breath of fresh air for the Premier League. You know, on his antics on the line, I love his enthusiasm. I think it's fantastic. I think the fans.
Was Keegan ever that lively on the line?
Always. Keegan was. He was very, very enthusiastic. Yeah,
both had great haircuts as well, I might add.
Yeah. Conte's had great trim.
But Conte's is not real, is it?
No, he grew it, didn't he?
Strictly speaking, it is because it's taken from the back of his head. But
so you get technical.
Well, if anybody
I've seen pictures of him when he's actually virtually bald.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever did that hair transplant, it's marvellous, by the way.
That is a proper one.
Great hair transplant. So I've seen some bad ones.
Oh, God, there's some shocking ones.
I've seen some awful ones.
Some shocking ones. So, he's done really well. He came in, started with 4 at the back, didn't work from him, was brave enough to go back to a 3. In that changing room, do you think through your time of playing at top level, would that have been a hard sell to get to the players?
No, I don't think so, because they hadn't had a good start. So I think if they'd have started well, then I want to change this, but we've just won 5 out of 6, then it'd been a hard sell. I think also it helped him John Terry being injured.
But speaking about your club, the scum, the filth, your manager talking about if you're not playing.
Can you address my club properly, please?
Yeah. I did.
Can you turn these mic off?
No, but with the Arsenal, Wenger saying it's easy to win the Premier League when you've got no European competitions to play. Now, if that's the case, should Arsenal do what he used to do in the Rumbelows Cup, in the League Cup? He used to play all the youngsters, hold back all the first teamers to play the big games.
Well,
should you go out of Europe real quick and concentrate on the Premiership? Because if that was the case for me, I think Arsenal could win it.
Yeah, but Zane, the problem is now that the Champions League is almost eclipsing the Premier League. It's like the FA Cup. It's how the FA Cup went down this season. I remember speaking to you guys a lot about it. I did one game at Southampton, Norwich, and it was just awful. Stadium wasn't even half full, Ledge, and for me, growing up as a kid, the FA Cup meant everything. It was like where you have banners at windows and flags and everyone going mad.
But you know what? When the cup final comes along, it'll be packed.
It'll be packed. But what I'm saying, the build up to it, and I think that's the way the Premier League
game's going up to it. Yeah,
the Champions League is going to eclipse that.
So packed.
Yeah, you're right, Ledge. And I think what Arsenal's trying to get at, if I can make sense of it, Zane, is that yes, it is a massive competition, but it's a lot easier to play that competition if you haven't got to worry about the Champions League and
Chelsea
the extra
and
games.
Have both won the Prem.
Yes.
With no European football.
Oh, I think there's a lot to be said for that, if I'm being honest. And I think you have to have that quality in terms of strength and depth in your squad to be able to kick on and go and do that. We spoke about your club, Tottenham. On a serious note, we spoke about Tottenham last week. Your first 11, for me, arguably is one of the best 11s, isn't it, Ledge?
Yeah,
we spoke about this time and time. The best. But after that, and that's where Chelsea managed to kick on. And we spoke on Monday night at the Chelsea Borough game last week. Remember, we went. And I said the difference between Chelsea and Tottenham and Arsenal is that you got William on the bench, you got Fabregas on the bench, you got all these. Kante was on the bench, whether he was injured, but he was on the bench. But you got all these players that can come in, and they're all game changers.
Was it ever more difficult for your boys though when you was Champions League for the teams around you that
it's always going to be difficult.
Did you notice the difference?
No, I don't. It was very different then because a team that played in the Champions League played on the Saturday in the Cup.
So there was not a lot of change,
in
was
the
there?
league. Yeah, no, we didn't change.
No,
and I think I know it's easy to say, yeah, if we haven't got many games, then it's easier to win. And in theory that's right, but I also think if you keep changing your team, which Conte hasn't had to do this year, then you lose momentum.
Yeah.
So it's the chicken and the egg. Do I change my team to give them rest? If I do that, then do I change it back again? But then that's losing the continuity. Of
you're right. And
getting on a run. That's what Chelsea did. They got on a run.
And Chelsea
will we say?
Do you know
that?
what, Zane? It's going to go like boxing, right? Football will go like boxing, and it has started to go like boxing. Because if you have a look at in the last 5 years where pre-season friendlies are being held in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, all these places, they're not going there because it's a lovely place to go on holiday. They're going there because they're the biggest. They're paying the most money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So they're paying the most money. So from a club's perspective, and I'm sure Ledger would agree, is that they will go, well, right, we're going to go to Thailand. Thailand's probably going to offer them a ridiculous amount of package. And they get to build a fan base there. And they're in that sort of Far Eastern corner.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of money there. And so the clubs will do it because, again, it's a business for them. So there's no point in going to play Dog and Duck United down the road because what are you going to get there? 5,000 people at best? They're going to go over there and get TV rights, naming rights, and everything else.
It's the global brand.
It's a global brand, exactly that.
We did it in '96. We went to Japan and the Far East just before we signed Alan.
96, Zane.
And we went.
18 years old I was.
Was you?
Yeah.
I was a bit older than that. We went out to Japan. We was on the plane when Keegan got off to sign Alan Shearer, but we was on, and we thought, what are we doing this for? We're going. It's miles and miles away.
What? Alan Shearer met you guys in Japan?
Did he? Yeah, we signed him and he flew out to meet us. Yeah. He had to fly on his own because we couldn't afford the insurance for the team and him.
Serious?
Yeah.
No way.
So he had to fly on his own back as well.
Oh, lovely.
See, that's when you become expensive.
Monarchy flew.
Let that be a lesson to you, Mr. Shearer. Yeah. Yeah, but that's what it is a global brand now. And speaking of global brands, the question that I want to pose to you guys again. Man City, they've chased Pep, they've got Pep, okay? With the start they had, which, I put my hands up at the top of the season, I said, City are going to win it.
Yep, you
did. I did say that, and I stood by it. But the season hasn't panned out that way. Chelsea's obviously won it, Tottenham's come second, I think City are third. But the question I want to put to you, Ledge, is with the amount of money City has spent on getting Guardiola and with the amount of money have spent it within their squad, do you think he has failed in his first season? Or do you think if he was at any other club, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, he would have been sacked?
He's already said he'd been sacked.
With the season that he's at.
Well, listen, I think if you're bringing Pep Guardiola into Manchester City...
Yeah.
And he's going to totally change the style. The reason they brought him in, I presume, is that they like the way that he plays football at Barcelona, at Bayern Munich.
His philosophy, right?
His philosophy of football. So in order for him to change, if he's got players at that club, which he has, that can't play the way that he wants them to play, and he can't get rid of them. Yeah, and he can't get rid. Well, he brought them in. Yeah. But he got rid of Joe Hart because he didn't think he could play. Yeah. But what I'm saying, if they have to give him at least 2 years to be able to get the now next season, if he's got all the players that he wants. And they still fail, then no doubt, without a doubt, he'll go. He'll be sacked. But I think if you're making a huge investment in Pep Guardiola and you're going to back him with huge money, then you've got to give him more than a year.
But this is his first taste of not winning.
I think it's his first taste of Premier League.
Taste of Premier League.
How difficult the bloody Premier League is.
But then does that make Conte's success even more paramount in terms of what he's done?
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I think he got players in. They brought players in that knew the Premier League, and he had a system that he knew from his days at Juventus, and he wanted to play. Yeah. He gave it a few weeks to as we said before, to listen. This is the way Chelsea have always played. Yeah. He gave it a few weeks, and then he said, "No, this is what we're doing. This is exactly what we're doing," and they've done it.
So does that?